I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
All right.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that pass. Mr. Mills, you're the star of the day.
That ain't always good. Don't let them strike out.
That's what we're gonna do.
I got your back.
Good afternoon, council. We got a couple of applicants today. The first one up is one that we visited last week. It's the, I'm sorry. It is on-premise club liquor license for Class 1 for Two Dimes venue, DBA Two Dimes, located at 1307 University Boulevard.
Well, we discussed this last week, didn't we
Yes, sir.
not?
We did. We discussed it. We began it. We've got, who's gonna represent y'all up here? Grant,
I can do it, yes, sir.
come on up.
Yes, Mr. Busby, this is, I suppose, this is in your district, is it not? So,
So give us the recap of the business model.
So it's a private club license is what we're applying for, and we're going to be anywhere from rock to country concerts, southern rock, to private event space for Greek events, fraternity sorority parties, to birthday parties, comedian shows we're talking about doing. So to just be a really wide array of an event space.
All right, and you're seating currently around 1,000. Y'all are gonna build out to 1,500-ish
Yes, sir.
and looking to commence operations in August, right?
Yes, sir. Second week of August.
Okay. And you're operating as a private club.
Correct.
So let's talk about what that means. Number one, Chief Blankley, that means that your officers off duty are permitted to serve as security. No.
No, sir.
Okay, all right.
They serve alcohol on that, that's still gonna be seen as a bar, if it's, we
Okay.
don't work any fraternity parties, sorority parties, we don't work any.
Okay, all right, so that piece is off the table. Grant, what
here you go, Ray.
is the difference in a member of the club and a non-member of the club?
So a member of a club, I would compare it to like a North River or Indian Hills. You would have a membership with Two Dimes, so that when you show up, you're going to have to present your membership card.
So it's an ongoing, is it show up at the door, pay $5 and you're a member?
Correct. So
Correct,
it
is?
You would have a yearly membership fee.
Okay,
So it might be a $20 yearly membership fee that you would have to renew every year. So if
Okay.
you, Mr. Busby, show up with a couple of your friends for a country concert that we've got going that night, they don't particularly have to be a member, but they have to be accompanied by a member, which would be you.
is there a limit to that?
There is not. So for instance,
Can I bring 100 friends?
well, if it's a concert night, no.
I mean, if I'm a
you were-
fraternity, do I have one fraternity member who's a member and everybody else is there?
You could do that, yes. So, for instance, if you were going to have a birthday party for one of your kids, you could have a birthday party for your kids. You're going to have to be present for the event because you're the member. If not, then somebody that is going to be at the event, hosting the event, would have to be a member of Two Dimes.
Okay, when you and I first talked, and this was 2 or 3 months ago, I think, at that point you believed that by virtue of the private classification that our police officers could serve as security, didn't you?
We did. We were under that assumption.
Okay, but that's not,
No, sir.
and
They're
it's,
serving
so it's
alcohol
the
and-
service of alcohol regardless of whether it's private or non-private, right? Okay, so how do you plan to handle security?
The same as we do up the road at Rounders. So we'll have
How is that?
We'll have W-2 employees that are security personnel that work for the establishment. So I would say on any given night at Rounders, we've got about 30 security on staff at an 800 capacity. So you're probably looking at 45 to 50 security personnel on any given night.
So, Mr. Holmes, or Ms. Kreitz, both of you jointly, I'll use the word advantages, what benefits are there to being a private club?
We're both going to defer to each other. Under the ABC rules, I don't know. Typically, I was under the impression from the last time this was here that this was a private club in the sense that you may think of a country club. It sounds like it's like that in some ways, but very different.
Well,
in others.
so here's where my question was going. I wanted to know what benefit does one derive from being a private club, and at what point do we look over and throw, go, that's not private. It's not private at all. What are our guidelines for evaluating that, or do we care? And if we don't care, why would it be a private club?
So I think I can answer the first half of that, and then I'll let Ms. Kreitz answer the second half of that. The first half of it, is, as far as criteria, is the state, and Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, the state meets with an applicant, and the state says, this is the alcohol license you need to get. We then process the alcohol license that ABC tells them to get through our revenue department.
Yeah, based off the meeting with the applicant, based off the spec of their business, the state decides on what type of license they'll actually apply for.
So from a land use perspective, they today are classified as a private event space. Druid City Music Hall is
It's already
it's
classified as
already
private.
classified as a private event space. It will continue to be classified as a private event space, and this is just the alcohol license that they're pursuing. So from a land use perspective, nothing is different
Okay,
for
but
us.
what I'm trying to understand is at what point does the common person look over and go, that's not private at all?
I think that's an excellent question for y'all.
So the private club license, one reason we're going for it is it allows us to have all ages. So if you wanted to have a 10-year-old birthday party in there on a Saturday afternoon, you're able to do that. Where if you have a typical liquor license, you're not able to have people under the age of 19 in your establishment. So this is opening up the doors for us to be able to have all kinds of different private events within the space. Weddings, wedding rehearsal dinners, if we wanted to do something along those lines as well. So it opens up the door for all different types of events. It is truly an event space at that point.
Chief Blankley, does that, so y'all spoke, I guess it was a week or so ago when we were up. I believe that TPD endorsed the concept and said you had no problems
We
with
do
it.
not endorse it, I'll be very clear about that. We do have concern with the amount of dump out on the strip. I have less concerns about concerts, more concerns about fraternity and sorority parties, with that amount of occupancy of 1,500. Like I said, the concerts that doesn't scare me a lot because they're listening to that, there's a dump out, it's 11 o'clock. Or 11:15 or 11:30. The sorority and fraternity parties, yeah, that does bother me a lot more because you're creating basically a bar at that point. And that's why, like, when we work security, we'll work Buffalo Wild Wings because it's a restaurant that has a bar in it. Then people may go to the bar and drink, but their primary focus is they're a restaurant. When we believe something's primary focus is a bar, at that point, we do not work security.
So does the ability of all ages to be inside there, does that present a problem to you?
No, sir.
Question
I feel like I've hogged the question
And
podium.
the good news is you don't have to be the alternate anymore if you don't want.
Oh.
Ms. Howard. But you can ask all the
Well, good
questions.
life.
You can ask all the questions you want.
I'll move seats and ask questions as an observer.
No, you stay
I
there,
have
stay
a
there.
question.
Good, you good to go, stay there.
Do I need to? Okay.
Are you playing?
I still have a question. The fraternity parties. You talked about the concert might be over at 11 or so. What about the fraternity parties?
They could range anywhere from a 2 to 6 p.m. or 6 to 10 or 10 to 2, just depending on the event.
They have to follow the alcohol laws regardless.
Either way,
That's
okay.
correct. So that's typically the times that they book their parties, depending on the day of the week.
Are y'all planning on hiring one security firm for things, or you don't know?
We've tried that in the past, and I prefer having in-house security because they learn our way. They're there every night. they know the way we want it done, as opposed to a security company. You've got different people coming through all the
I
time, and
agree with you on that. by
it's
the way.
just,
Officers also get used to working with
Yeah.
security companies and individual people, so.
we train them the way we want to train them, and they know our expectations, and it's worked well for us in the past, so that's the way we plan to do it for this as well.
I do have another question from the cheap seats. Ms. Kreitz, Zach, is there, in some of the licensing situations we looked at, we have the luxury of a probationary period, right? Do we have that here?
No, sir, their use is staying the same as a special event or a private event space. This is just the license is what's being discussed this evening, and so there's not a probationary period tied to that.
So what was it, brew pub or something? There was something where we could issue a 1-year license and see how it worked out.
We were doing, so we still have, our bar uses, bar tavern, bar restaurant, and bar club are still conditional uses. Private event space is not a conditional use, and so that's what they're maintaining, that private event space use, but asking for a different alcohol license type today, but there is no restriction on that one.
And we're happy to coordinate with Chief Blakeney, on a bi-weekly or monthly basis to, provide him with our monthly schedule. So if there are nights that we're gonna have a, bigger event than another night, then we can coordinate with you guys to make sure you guys are staffed accordingly. So whatever we need to do to make it easier on y'all.
Okay, any more questions for our applicant? All right, if there's nothing else, this is a vote to give it either favorable or not, so it can go before city council for a public hearing. So can I get a
I make a motion.
Okay,
That's it.
yes,
Up to her.
and it's, if you'll come to the podium, yeah.
I need to give my name.
Yeah, name and address for the record.
Good deal. I'm Jay Jarrett. I'm one of the owners of 1225 Sports Store. My address is 2700 University Boulevard. Previously, a concern that this council had was about, or continues to be about, overcrowding on the strip. Basically, what we're also seeing is we got an establishment that's currently, or previously was a little bit over 1,000, and we're talking about increasing that to 1,500. Is overcrowding still a concern as it relates to the strip in the downtown area?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like want to kind of hear the answer to that.
Okay, I'm sorry. you
Is
said it's
overcrowding still a
overcrowding?
concern for this council as it relates to the strip in
Yes.
downtown area?
I'll be glad to answer this, my district.
Oh, I mean, yeah, this is open for, yes, you can answer. It's open.
Jay, it's not a concern on a normal bar night.
So you're saying
Let me finish.
I'm
what
sorry,
saying.
Mr. Busby, I couldn't hear you. You said what?
It's not a concern on a normal bar night. I mean, in our typical Monday through Sunday bar events, overcrowding's not a big deal. It is the special events. A-Day is the one that stands out the most. There's probably 2 or 3 others. When people from everywhere come down with no place to go or hang out, except in the streets, then at that point, it is a concern.
Got it. So that one day, you mentioned A-Day, so one day a year is a concern, but all the other days are not a concern.
I didn't say all the other days, but again, there are a select number of, Chief, feel free to chime in.
I disagree.
Okay, well, when we have people coming in from all over the state, with no particular place to go, they just want to come hang out, that's when I see it as a problem.
I disagree. We do have overcrowding on the strip that we do see. A lot of it's depending on acts that come in. A lot of it depends on when we do have the outside factor come in. like Councilman Buzzy said, it's not every single night, but when it hits hard. So we do have concern with overcrowding on the strip. That does come into a factor, and that has been my stance on every bar that has tried to increase occupancy on the strip. Is that we do have issues with overcrowding. The difference with this one is the lines. Their lines should be done with events before where other places lines hold, and that's why we had to have a queuing permit because of the overcrowding and the sidewalks filling up and people not being able to pass by.
So as I understand it, people won't be coming and going like they would at a regular bar. They'll come for the event. And I would think they'd come for the event.
Pre-sale tickets.
And then when it's over, they'd leave. But it wouldn't be people necessarily coming in and out all night long like a typical bar. Is that?
The majority of the time, yes, that's correct. Kind of depends on the event that we have going on or the venue has booked. But majority of the time with the concerts that we're having, it'd be pre-sold events, so they'll have the ticket that they've sold and it'd be pretty quick flow into the establishment.
All right. In terms of hours of operation, this has been something that I've been watching the council meetings and stuff. Every establishment come up here that's looking for licenses. You guys have requests that we have state their hours of operation, how you plan to operate. I don't even know from looking at the last week council meeting if that's wherever disclosed or disclosed. Do we know the hours of operation? Or is it just going to be an
Depends
event?
on the event. I mean, you might have an event on a Sunday morning from 9 to 12 o'clock. So, I mean, it could be 9 to 12 o'clock or it could be 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. I mean, it depends on the event and what time they're renting the facility.
Got it. Okay.
So there's not going to be a set Sunday through Saturday hours of operation.
Okay.
And Mr. J, I just want to say, we're going to conduct this like we do our normal public hearings. So that's 5 minutes to
Okay.
speak. So
I
I
don't know how
haven't
many
been.
minutes I have left.
We'll
2 minutes. All right. I'll be
Yeah.
real quick. So I think
We're past 5, but you can keep going. I think.
Okay, I think real quick here, and I'll try to address the rest tonight then at the council meeting, is that I guess my concern is well, I don't have a concern because I think it's good for all businesses to do well. My thing is, if we're talking about the club liquor license, then essentially, if you're talking about membership, my partner and I looked at this as well, and I know as a member, you can have any event here. It can be tonight. You can say a member want to bring a DJ in, and you can have that. It can morph into something a lot different. So I just want the council to be aware of just that. This thing certainly can morph into something a lot different than what's being said today. But last but not least, I think it goes back to the overcrowding side. So is this Councilman Buzzer, you mentioned about you're okay with the overcrowding on the strip outside of the, I know Chief different than that.
Yeah,
So
Chief and I differ a little bit.
That's
He's
fine.
probably on the strip more nights than I am.
Yeah, I'm probably out there more than you as well. But that said, we're saying we're good with a 50%, approximate 50% increase in occupancy.
I think what you're asking is if we allowed 500 more people to be put into venues on the strip, would we be okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, are there any more questions or comments?
Appreciate your public safety concerns.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Okay, can I get a motion in a second? Okay, I made the motion. Second. Okay,
I think he'll be-
Oh.
I think both of them.
who's on the committee? Are you? Yep, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Next, Mr. Mills. Retail beer on, the Stir of India Express.
Actually, we're gonna
Okay.
your slides are in your handouts in different order.
Okay.
The first one we're gonna do is gonna be Ross Lamont's Catering LLC for Lamont's Fried and Frosty. They're applying for a restaurant retail liquor license. It's located at 2217 University Boulevard. The hours of operation will be Sunday from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. They'll be closed on Mondays. Tuesday through Thursday will be 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. And Friday through Saturday will be 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay.
As you see in your slides, you have pictures of the area map, zoning map, as well as the adjacent businesses beside it. You have a copy of the floor plan. The occupancy load at this particular location will be 58 individuals. And the Tuscaloosa Police Department does not have any objections to this application.
All right, are there any questions? Do
I
we
make
need
a
to,
motion. Do we need to hear them?
do we need to hear the applicant?
I make a motion.
Okay,
See,
you did a second. All in favor?
Can y'all repeat that?
I make a motion.
Okay.
And I second it.
Alright.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion have it.
Yeah, you good. Let's get them
Item
flags across
passes.
the
All right,
side.
next. All right, Mr. Mills, where are we? Are we at the Sturb? Are we at the Sturb India again?
Man, burn it up a little bit.
We're just-
No, I have actually two more.
You know what I'm saying? I'm slow.
The next one is gonna be Sitar, the one that you explained at first.
Okay,
Okay, this is the,
okay, gotcha.
Indian Cloudless LLC, DBA Sitar Indian Express.
We have to
Applying
keep
for a
fast.
retail beer owner off premises only, retail table wine owner off premises only. They're located at 1825 McFarland Boulevard, North Suite 250. This one was previously approved, early in the year, but after deadlines that they had, they, actually had to go back before city council again. And the only reason why we're hearing this one on committee because of the on-premise, part of the, license part of it as well.
I make a motion.
Second.
I mean, what's
Yeah, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Do we need to hear from the applicant?
Nah, we heard from
Okay.
that.
We good?
A
Okay.
restaurant, basically.
It's up to you. All right, and the last one that I have is for, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, so it is a retail table wine on off premises and, retail beer on off premises, so it would have to be two separate votes.
I make a motion.
So, and this is for the wine,
Yeah.
Yes,
second.
Second, whatever.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay.
Another, that was a restaurant.
all right, and then the last applicant I have today will be, Tony's Italian Grill. Applying for a retail beer owner off premises only, retail table wine owner off premises only, located at 6601 Highway 69 South. Hours of operation will be Sunday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday closed, Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Again, they're applying for retail beer owner off premises and retail table wine owner off premises. Looking, with top of the TV, there's no issues with this applicant as well.
Okay, no
Motion.
issues.
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
And then we need to take one.
And, can we get a motion
Motion.
for the table wine? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, Mr. Mills, is that all you? Okay, Miss, Jessica, an ordinance adding the section 1013 to the code of Tuscaloosa.
Good afternoon, council.
Good afternoon.
So I have two here. These are basically gonna be serving the same purpose, just to clean up this section for the court's procedures. 10-13 just says that the new one will follow Rule 20, which is the state schedule of fines for traffic tickets. Instead of listing them each individually in code like we have now, we will just say that we will follow the state. So when it's updated, we don't have to make code changes on our end. And the second part of it just lists certain fine amounts for municipal violations. So you have some from animal control, garbage, lakes, and fire.
Was that 7 and 8? You were discussing number 8?
Yes, this
Okay.
is all gonna be under 10-13 on the first one.
Okay, on the first one, okay.
So this just takes the section 10-13 from 27 pages to 2.5 pages, and
Nice.
it will
Mhm.
follow the states instead of us having to update it every year when they update.
Okay, any
Make a motion.
questions? Okay, motion,
Seven.
Motion, second, whatever.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes, okay, thank you.
We got to do number 8.
Now, the
Agenda.
second one is kind of along the same lines. This
Mhm.
section does the retention schedule for court files. instead of us copying what the state did into city code, we are just repealing that, saying that we will follow the state's retention schedule.
So for the record, can we get a motion for ordinance repealing section 10-24 of the Code of Tuscaloosa?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is there anything else to come before the Public Safety Committee meeting? All right, our next meeting is June the 10th. Can I get